I wouldn't want to be Martel's kid. Martel ain't even got a pool. He has a mistress, but no pool. So now we have Tisha and Marceau versus Kimmy and Maurice. Oh, and Marceau said Kimmy sanctioned her, and you enjoyed every minute of it because you're too weak to do it yourself. You can't sanction my mom, she's family. And I agree with Kimmy. Family gotta know how to act around family, and Wanda ain't got an ounce of act right. Not even a teaspoon. You couldn't even get a dash out of her. Oh, she said, well, I can bring my kid without sending a text. Sometimes no. That's the thing, Tisha. You think just because it's family, you get to push them off on other people and they have to have the same deference, respect, and reverence that you do. No, boo, them is your kids. And if they bad butt kids, leave them at home. I'd say, or bring your checkbook, but you ain't got checkbook to first because you waiting 4 years in this tiny ass house that you sick of living in. So Marceau tries to say, well, you could have greeted Wanda properly, so we have 2 infractions. And I agree with Kimmy. No, she showed up where she wasn't supposed to. I said y'all invited her. If you want to take that as shade, well, you know what? Take it with a gift bag. See you at the next party. Actually, but not your mama. If she hadn't shown up where she wasn't invited, it wouldn't matter how I greeted her. She shouldn't have been here for me to greet. If you take it as rude as opposed to a fact, and that's the thing, it's a fact. It's not an F-A-C-T, it's a F-A-K, a fact. A fact. You weren't invited, and that's a fact. Oh, I see your daughter must have invited you. That's a fact. Kimmy deals in facts, and they can't handle that. Oh, the issue ain't me and your mom. Your mama's starting the ruckus with Mel and Martel. And that's the thing. Your mama shows up at events, shows her butt and a great hairstyle. But, she treats adults like they aren't adults. And then, I'm the elder, so I get all the reverence and respect. And it's like, that's your mama, Tish. If you want to let her run you, she can run you. But you ain't going to come over here and run me. I'm not going to disrespect you, but I'm not going to let you run me. Or interject on things that aren't your business, because I ain't talking about your marriage. So, of course, Tisha storms off. I like that they finally I can't say they finally came with it. They've been coming with it every episode. We got to it immediately today. Oh, what the? Melody's singing. I'm going to go on and put an album out because apparently that's just what people do now. And hell, I got original music and lyrics. Melody is in the booth. Are you for real? Oh, girl, you ain't got a vocal or... You couldn't carry a tune in a bucket. Oh, what in the Portia Williams? You were out here giving flatline notes. Oh, goodness, the producer says, let's do it again. For what? You heard the first time wasn't gonna get no better. I'd rather listen to Candace Dillard's When I See You. Actually, I'd rather listen to Nene's Honey. That was kind of cute because Nene wasn't trying to carry nobody's note. She left it on the floor where it was. And that's what Melody should have done. Because you kept dropping it, it ended up on the floor anyway. So Melody's brother pops up and he says, where were you at the Halloween party where I was confronting your brother like you didn't know she wasn't going to show up? You went as her emissary. So now we see Mel has truly caught up to Martel's game and is giving him a beautiful return serve in how to do publicity. She's like, look, I'm glad I didn't show up. I'm not going to do no toxicity. I'm not going to give the camera what it doesn't need. You ain't going to have me cussing you out, fussing, fighting, fuming, and being irritated. I'm just going to ghost, vanish, and leave the situation and you. You can stay with your mistress, with your peasant. And Mel also knows nobody believes that she cheated before he cheated. Everybody's like, okay, if Melody stepped out while y'all were clearly separated and she was living in another home, that's her business. Since you getting a full mistress and getting her pregnant, so it means you were hitting her raw and could have brought her home a house in Virginia, ain't nobody mad. And I ain't talking about real estate. Oh, Bandcamp in the chat said she pulled a Meredith. She disengaged. But girl, you in the booth doing a song inspired by Martel, I'ma need you to get out that booth. I don't know who told you this was the look, but it ain't. Like your wig, it doesn't fit you. It doesn't fit. Don't go chasing lobster tails. Please stick to the scallops that you're used to. Now we have a sit down with Wanda and Marcel. And I'm about to go in. Wanda says, look, I didn't know when I was going to see Martel, so I had to make sure he knew how I felt. And if Kimmy don't like it, she can lump it. She said, well, when God put something on your heart, I had to talk to her as a mother. Marcel's like, you're not her mother, and God told you to be quiet. See, I was eavesdropping on your phone call. Ooh, talk about Martel's tight pants, you better recognize. He's always trying to show off his glutes. Now, Wanda, I don't know what you mean by you brought the trash to the table and I just finished it when you're talking about going to a party you weren't invited to. Marceau, you are a two-faced, shit-starting panty waste. You gonna look Wanda in her eye and lie about what Kimmy says so that you can watch Wanda go at Kimmy and hopefully damage the relationship with your mother-in-law so you ain't gotta be bothered with her no more. Ooh, I see you for your lack of work and your sorry deeds. I remember 10 seconds ago, Kimmy's full well said, no, there is no issue with how I reacted to someone showing up at an event I did not invite them to. I'm sorry, an event that you did not invite them to. And now we have Marceau saying, well, you've been sanctioned from the events, and she gonna ask, what is that? Girl, just use sentence context clues and don't give him a moment where he can explain a word to you so he can feel more intelligent, which he ain't. Otherwise, his family would be living on the 47 acres rather than in that tiny investment home. After 2 seasons of reality show coin. Marceau told her, you are a glass of 90% clear fresh water, but 10% piss. Now, Wanda, I'm have to get you together. You don't like Marceau because Marceau is just like you, but with a penis. Tisha is with a man who talks down to her because that's how you raised her, because you talk down to her your whole life, and you still do, and to everybody else on the show, which is why nobody wants you around. Why are you talking about your mother-in-law walking around thicker than a Snicker in leather pants? Why are you looking? That's your mama-in-law. You need to worry about your wife's curves and swerves. Goodness. I'm getting a Mary T from you. Don't give me a FFTF. So now we got Martel, Kimmy, and Marraige shopping for the men's camping trip. So Martel apologizes to Kimmy for getting out of hand at her event. Even. And she said, yeah, that's why I didn't invite Messy Wanda. I know you messy, but you know, I had to have so many people from the cast there, but she wasn't necessary. Martel, Kimmy ain't on your side because you went to social media and have been trying to paint Melody as a cheater when you're out here with an outside baby. Martel is so stupid, he still doesn't realize that running around telling people, oh, my kids want different parents than me isn't the look. Because Kimmy was like, oh, your kids don't want to go home with you. How does that make you feel? Meanwhile, Marceau is very leery about this 47 acres development deal because he's like, I know who Marceau is, and he will try to cheat me out my 2 cents. And that's why we in this hovel. So now we have the guys' camping trip. It looks like they're heading out to that 47 acres. Why is it that we see Cedric more with the men than Destiny does with her child? So now we got Cedric talk about how he grew up in a divorced household to Martel. And Cedric, your kid gonna grow up in one because you ain't paying no attention to it, and Destiny getting irritated. Meanwhile, Martel is like, yeah, that's the same thing I went through. But if your kids were your world, then why did you have a whole mistress? And then bring another child into the world with a woman you referred to as a peasant? Why are you procreating with peasants? Martel, you and Melody aren't at odds right now. You're simply odd. Melody is really enjoying her children without Martel. I'd enjoy them too. Anything without Martel is amazing. I'm having an amazing stuffed mushroom right now, but the fact that Martel is in here, it makes it that much more delicious. Marceau was in an accident, but he's all right, thank goodness. And I can't believe I'm saying that, but yeah. So now we got a blast from last season. The heifer who wrote the play that Melody was in is now her life coach. She said, I wear many hats, honey, but I'm going to keep this check coming in. So now Melody's getting her PR game on, and she said, oh, you want to play with the kids? I'm going to have the kids talk to the therapist and show the world what you putting your kids through since you decided to cheat on me and have a baby with your mistress. And now we find out the daughter wants to be with dad because the daddy let them have ice cream for breakfast because he's too lazy to fix a bowl of cereal. My grandmother wouldn't let me out the house unless I had a hot breakfast. And usually that meant eggs, bacon, toast, hash browns. Like, I could barely get out of there with cream of wheat. Like, she'd be like, okay, you've got to eat something and it's got to be warm. You're not leaving this house without warm food. And I was just like, I can eat cold cereal. It's good. You can't eat cold cereal. I'm like, Granddad eats cold cereal. You're too young. But Marcel not just giving them cold cereal, he giving them cold ice cream because he ain't shit. He needs to be on Sisters. Miss Porter only had hot breakfast too. Oh, the kids said, oh, Daddy was acting up like a crazy man and you was just trying to get your clothes. Melody ain't saying nothing. She letting her kids do all the talking. And you know kids be spilling it, honey. They be putting your business in the street. Not just your business, but your business. So now that it's the panorama, Maurice sees that Kimmy don't need to quit being a nurse. Oh, Lord, now we got 5 minutes of Martel hemming and hawing before he finally fesses up that his mistress is pregnant. It honestly, the demise of their marriage isn't about the infidelity. It isn't even about the outside baby. It's that they genuinely are out of love. They no longer care for each other. It didn't work and it never worked. It was something that they both felt that they should be in, but it just wasn't. And Martel, you are 40. It's you too old to be saying I wasn't getting what I needed at home. Then you move on. You move on. If you are not sexually compatible, you move on. Martel, you were with this woman dang near as long as you was with Melody. You don't regret anything. You were raw dogging and you knew your mistress could conceive. You knew you were fertile. You don't regret. You're a grown-assed man, grown and gray-assed. I wish things were different. Now, if you was 23, I could see. It's like, oh my goodness, babies are just everywhere. If you were 23, I could, even though I'm sure you took sex ed, but you know, some places, they don't be teaching people stuff. They don't teach you, oh, it works. But girl, you out here 40 conceiving with your mistress, I wish things were different. What did you think was going to happen? Well, then again, you don't think because you're a moron. Not even a mark, just a moron. So Martel's mouthpiece, Sadaric, says, well, now there were the pregnancy rumors, and I hadn't heard anything in a while. And that gives Martel the opening to say, oh, well, Melody put that out. She's actually pregnant, so you know who put that out? Your heifer. Your pregnant heifer.